In the ongoing battle against cancer, researchers continuously seek to identify everyday habits that could help reduce the risk of developing the disease. A recent global study has added an interesting dimension to this effort by exploring something many of us consume regularly: coffee and tea. The study, which focuses on the link between these popular beverages and head and neck cancer, offers a glimpse of hope for millions of coffee and tea drinkers worldwide. However, as promising as the results may seem, there are significant nuances and warnings to consider before viewing these findings as definitive. Head and neck cancers, which include cancers of the mouth, throat, and voice box, are a growing global concern, now ranking as the seventh most common cancer type. These cancers are becoming more prevalent, especially in low and middle-income countries, where they are often diagnosed in more advanced stages. As the number of affected individuals increases, scientists are striving to understand the role of lifestyle factors in influencing cancer risks. Among the many potential risk-reducing habits, coffee and tea consumption have garnered particular interest. However, the results of the studies on this topic have been mixed, with some showing positive links, while others found no significant effects at all. To get a clearer picture, a team of researchers, led by the Huntsman Cancer Institute at the University of Utah, analyzed data from 14 different studies conducted by the International Head and Neck Cancer Epidemiology Enhanced Consortium. This global collaboration looked at information from nearly 25,000 participants, 9,548 of whom had head and neck cancer and 15,783 of whom did not. The participants were asked detailed questions about their coffee and tea consumption, including whether they drank regular or decaffeinated coffee, and how often they consumed these beverages. The study's results revealed some promising trends for coffee drinkers. People who consumed more than 4 cups of caffeinated coffee per day had a significantly lower risk of developing head and neck cancer overall. Specifically, those who drank more coffee had 17% lower odds of developing any type of head and neck cancer, a 30% lower chance of developing oral cancer, and a 22% lower risk of throat cancer. Even more striking were the results for individuals who drank 3 to 4 cups of coffee daily, showing a 41% reduction in the risk of developing hypopharyngeal cancer, a rare but aggressive type of throat cancer. Even decaffeinated coffee appeared to offer benefits, with drinkers having 25% lower odds of developing oral cavity cancer, suggesting that something beyond caffeine, perhaps antioxidants or other plant-based compounds in coffee, may contribute to its protective effects. Tea, too, showed some promise, especially when it came to reducing the risk of hypopharyngeal cancer. People who drank tea had 29% lower odds of developing this type of cancer, and those who consumed 1 cup or less per day had a 9% lower risk of head and neck cancer overall and a 27% lower risk of hypopharyngeal cancer. However, these positive effects of tea were not consistent across all cancer types. Surprisingly, the study also found that drinking more than 1 cup of tea per day was linked to a 38% higher chance of developing laryngeal cancer, which affects the voice box. This unexpected result suggests that the impact of tea on cancer risk can vary significantly depending on the type of cancer and the amount consumed, adding a layer of complexity to the findings. While these results may seem encouraging for coffee and tea drinkers, it is crucial to approach them with caution. The study does not establish a definitive cause and effect relationship between coffee or tea consumption and a reduced risk of head and neck cancer. While the findings indicate a possible protective effect, it is important to remember that these beverages alone cannot be relied upon as a cancer prevention strategy. The varying effects of coffee and tea on different types of head and neck cancer, as well as the potential for negative outcomes with excessive consumption, highlight the complexity of how lifestyle factors impact health. Furthermore, the way in which coffee and tea are consumed may significantly alter their potential health benefits. Many people drink their coffee and tea with milk, sugar, or other additives that can alter the nutritional profile of these beverages and potentially negate any positive effects. For example, excessive sugar or cream could contribute to weight gain or metabolic issues, which are known to increase cancer risk. Additionally, The temperature at which these drinks are consumed may also play a role. Drinking very hot beverages, whether coffee or tea, has been linked to an increased risk of esophageal cancer, further complicating the health equation. It is also important to recognize that head and neck cancers are multifactorial diseases, meaning they arise from a combination of genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors. While coffee and tea might offer some protective benefits, they are not a cure-all. Smoking and excessive alcohol consumption remain among the most significant risk factors for these types of cancer, and no amount of coffee or tea can offset the dangers posed by these habits. Additionally, people who consume large amounts of coffee or tea may also be at risk for other health issues, such as anxiety, insomnia, and digestive problems, which could outweigh any potential benefits related to cancer risk reduction. In practical terms, this study suggests that moderate consumption of coffee, both caffeinated and decaffeinated, might be linked to a lower risk of certain types of head and neck cancers. However, it is essential to approach these findings with a sense of moderation and balance. Overconsumption of coffee or tea, especially when coupled with unhealthy dietary habits or lifestyle choices, could potentially cause more harm than good. The link between tea and laryngeal cancer, for instance, serves as a reminder that even beneficial habits can have unintended negative consequences if taken to extremes. The bottom line is that while coffee and tea may offer some protective benefits, they should not be seen as a foolproof strategy for cancer prevention. More research is needed to better understand the complex relationship between these beverages and cancer risk, as well as how factors such as the amount consumed, the type of beverage, and other lifestyle habits interact to influence health outcomes. As always, a holistic approach to health, incorporating a balanced diet, regular physical activity, and avoiding known risk factors like smoking and excessive alcohol, remains the most effective way to reduce cancer risk. In conclusion, while moderate coffee and tea consumption may contribute to lower risks of certain types of head and neck cancer, it is far from a guaranteed solution. The potential benefits must be weighed against the risks, and individuals should remain cautious about overconsumption. More research is needed to explore these relationships further, but it is clear that cancer prevention requires more than just a cup of coffee or tea.